Welcome or welcome back. I'm Chris.
And I'm Kris.
And this is Kris Greenhill's Garage. I forgot you existed.
I've been in my government-mandated facility 8 hours a day.
Prison?
No, school.
Ugh, that's much worse. I think you're just trying to dodge responsibility and don't want to help me.
No, I have a life. I don't want to hang around the old and the sick.
Ugh. Well, I am sick, but I'm definitely not old. Young and virile, boy. We are back in the 1982 Ford Mustang GT that we affectionately call the piece of Stang, or at least I do. You love that name, don't you? We are back for one last-ditch effort to fix the rear end on this car, the Ford 8.8-inch rear end that has continuously made noise forever. If you're not familiar with it, it made a little noise when we got it. It's progressively gotten worse and worse and worse and worse. We've had this thing apart 4 or 5 times. We replaced every bearing. We've replaced every seal. We've inspected it. We've meticulously rebuilt this thing with new shims, new bearings, everything. It's making more and more noise than ever. As I got to thinking about it more, I started thinking, the only thing I haven't really done is I eyeballed the axles, but I never measured the axles to see if they're straight. Maybe we have a crooked axle, and that's what we're going to try to fix today. A local gentleman had a pair of 28 spline 4-lug stock Fox body axles just sitting around. He sold to us for a few dollars. So we're going to take it all back apart again, swap axles. And while they're out, I'm going to go ahead and check the axles that are in it for straightness and hope and pray that that's the deal. But if you're not familiar, there's a rotational vibration in this rear end. Faster you go, whoop, 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 whoop. Faster the sound gets, the more the car shudders and vibrates and bounces. It's got new brake rotors. It's got new everything except axles. And I never checked the axles for straightness. If we pull these axles out and they're arrow straight, that's a problem. But we have new axles. We're going to throw them in there and hope for the best. If this doesn't work, I'll also check the axle tubes for straightness and hope and pray it's not just a bent axle tube and the housing isn't bent. If that's the case, then we're going to have to do something else later. But for today, we're just going to get this thing apart, throw new axles in it, which I've already checked for straightness, and try to get this thing back together and hope and pray that it's drivable. We've been avoiding driving it lately as much as possible so we don't destroy the rear end, but with the red convertible damaged and out of commission, we need this thing back on the road. So let's get started. Are you excited, boy?
Mm-hmm.
You love taking apart rear ends, don't you?
No, I avoid it.
I noticed. You're never here anymore for this. Lazy. Using the best straight edge I have, these new axles, I found them to be straight on all sides from every angle. So we're going to put these in and then hope that when we pull out the old axles, one of them is crooked. We got the wheels off and we got the brake drums off. These feel like they rotate smoothly. However, we are hypothesizing that we might have damaged the axles when we put in these extra long 3-inch wheel studs. We might have bent it then. Everything feels fine at, just sitting here, but you never know. The boy's pulling the rear differential cover and going to drain it.
I have a lot of gaskets.
Yep, a whole lot of gasket seal. And it still leaked a little. I couldn't believe it. Bigger hammer time. There we go. Keep going. It's coming off. All right. Grease looks pretty normal coming out. Let's get in there and check for any metal flaking or anything. The boy's pulling the bolt that holds the pin that holds the C-clips. Push the pin out And we're gonna yank the C-clips and get this thing apart. All right, so we got this apart, and we have a ton of side-to-side play all of a sudden. After just rebuilding this thing, shimming it to eliminate all that. That is not good. There's not much on it right now, but we pulled this magnet out of here, pulling the C-clips a minute ago, and there is a ton of metal flake and metal debris coming out on this magnet as we shoved it in here. The oil looks good, but there is a ton of metal debris coming out of here. And now the rear end has a bunch of side-to-side play in it it didn't have before. So that's not good. These axles appear to be as straight as the other axles from all angles. However, look, we have metal debris all over them. There's metal debris, ground metal, all in the center differential. And I have no idea why. So we're gonna have to take the whole thing apart, check that, because the axles are not gonna be the issue today. Junior's gonna pull the center section so we can figure out what we got going on in here. Well, that isn't good. Kris pulled the main caps off, and this went clattering down into the differential. We got to figure out where that came from. That looks like a shim. That isn't good. I hadn't even noticed, but there is metal flake and debris and glitter everywhere, all in the differential cover, coming out of the axle tubes, everywhere. All the oil's got glitter in it. Something's really chewed up. Got the center section out, try to keep all that stuff together, put it on the cardboard so we can look at it. Cannot find the source of that broken piece of metal. However, notice these bearings, pretty sloppy side to side. They still seem to function. They're all rolling really smooth, but that is a lot of end place slop. We've got brand new bearings for this thing. We just don't have a hydraulic press to take them off and install them today. I don't think this is the source of our glitter though. These feel perfectly functional. Every roller's turning smooth. There's metal all inside the center of this thing. We don't have no idea where it's coming from. Using the magnet to fish in the differential again because it's come out filthy a few times. No, just dirty oil. But this stuff is all in the inside of this. I'm wondering if this could be chewed up Positrack clutches inside the carrier. We've never rebuilt that, but the Positrack is working. It's the only thing I can think of. We can't find a source for this metal. I don't understand it. Junior did find two smaller little metal pieces in the middle of the carrier, or the middle of the housing. The pinion feels great. It feels perfectly smooth. I don't think that metal is the oil slinger. There's no slack in it. The races and the bearings look normal. I don't know what is going on with this thing. These are the shims in the race that came out of one side. A lot of this is just dirt from laying them on the ground. There are no chewed up shims. There are no missing shims. There's no real metal debris on these shims. A lot of this is from laying this on this dirty carpet. But when these came out, these are really clean. I really thought these were going to be the issue. All right, so there is a problem on this side. We definitely had shims on the passenger side, and there are no more shims. It is just these two-piece shims. There are none of the individual like 1,000ths or 10,000th shims or anything over here. I know there's at least one. I'll have to go back and watch the rebuild video, but we shimmed both sides, and there are no more shims in this. That is not good. Yes, we definitely had some micro shims in this side. I just went back and watched the YouTube video again. We shimmed this thing like 5 or 6 times, boy. But we definitely had some of the tiny micro shims over here. So that is going to be what that metal flake is. That is not good. Fortunately, we have multiple leftover shims. We have a whole shim kit. Really don't know what to do but to put this back together, try to eliminate that side-to-side play, recheck the gear lash, and just try to put it back together. We don't have any more of the yellow gear marker stuff, the gear paint, to check the backlash and everything, but we're just gonna have to put it together and hope for the best, I guess. With the race on these bearings, they feel really good. They feel like they spin amazing. There's no damage, no reason to think these bearings are out. Just when they just seem like they have a little bit too much slack for my taste. But I don't have a way to swap them, so we're gonna have to deal with it and hope it lasts another couple of months. It seems a little sloppy to me, but I mean, oh, wait a minute. It's gonna be very difficult to see on camera, but I was rolling this bearing and there's definitely a ding in this bearing. There's a dent in it. It seems to be rolling okay, but there is a dent right here, a recess. The bearing is not rolling smoothly. Oh, I really don't want to put that back together. It is rolling, it feels okay. It feels like it's rolling smoothly, but it's rolling at an angle. That's not good. Oddly enough, this is the driver's side. This is the side where all the shims, everything came out in one piece and looked normal. The other side is where we're missing shims. I don't know if there's anything I can do about this today. I can't find anywhere to get this bearing off, so it may have to go back together in here. Just reshim it, pack it in tight, and hope for the best and hope it lasts another couple of months. Hey boy, you remember that time we spent all that time with all the paint and the dial gauge indicator and all that, rebuilding the rear differential the right way? Ignore all of that. We're gonna slap this back together like I used to as a teenager. It'll probably last like 20 years. So we're just putting it back together. We're not gonna do it the right way. We're gonna do it the way I've always done it, the wrong way. And hopefully it does better. Junior just discovered more metal in the axle tubes. Yep, that's part of a shim. Nothing else that could be. So we got to clear out the axle tubes and clear out the pumpkin and try to get this thing clean so we can put it back together the wrong way. More metal in the axle tubes. Definitely more shim. It is just incredibly thin and weak and flimsy. So we got to clean out these axle tubes. And even more metal out the other side. Definitely shim. Jeez. Well, the good news is we found about 1/4 of a shim. The bad news is we're missing 3/4 of a shim. The other good news is that is probably a good portion of the rest of the shim. It has probably been liquefied into glitter. The boy's gonna take this rag using this piece of metal all thread and shove this into the middle of the differential, try to push all that fluid towards the middle so we can drain it a little easier and push any metal that's in there. I have this thing re-shimmed. It took a thick shim over here and a couple of micro shims over here for it to feel normal, but there's no more side-to-side end play at all. And the lash feels like we got a little bit, maybe too much gear backlash, but we're gonna get the dial indicator, check it, and just hope it's close. Put the end caps back on. We're gonna go ahead and check the backlash. That seems extreme, but there is no side-to-side end play. So, better than was. Just a bit much backlash. We're like 50 thousandths instead of 8 to 12. We have to tighten that up a little, although it doesn't feel like it's gonna take any tightening. After numerous reshims and re-reshims and re-re-reshims. Oh, come on. It was just saying 12. We're like 14 thousandths. 12 to 14 thousandths. We're going to call that good enough. Boy, 14 thousandths is good enough. What do you think?
I think it has good in the name, so it has to be amazing.
Good enough has good in the name, so we're good, right?
Yep.
All right. Hey, boy, you remember when I said we were going to change axles? No, you don't. Don't lie to me. Don't gaslight me. Are we changing axles, the boy?
Nope, we never did that.
We're never doing that. Old axles, which are perfectly good and perfectly straight, are going back in. Spin the axle. Keep going. Thought I heard a strange sound a minute ago. Spin it back the other way. No? All right. Future Kris here. I lost the video clip somehow or didn't save it or something. But this is the point in the video where I actually found that I dropped 2 shims down in the differential carrier and didn't realize it. So the teeth on the main drive gear were coming around and hitting every time. So that's why I had Kris spinning the gear trying to figure out what that noise was. And I pulled him out of there, but no video clip. Anyway, that's what that was. Well, we got it all back together. We eliminated our 1/4 inch plus of side-to-side play. Got a little bit too much lash, but you know what? It can't possibly make any more noise than it did before. While we're under here, we're ditching these 2.5 inch tailpipes. We absolutely hate them. This thing was hitting the frame, hitting the control arm again, because they're all misshapen. All that work I put into getting them under here just for nothing. So Kris is gonna live that dumped lifestyle for a little while. It'll be fine. In a month or two, when I get time, I'll put the tailpipes, the nice tailpipes from the red car, back on this thing. Getting the cover back on. Unfortunately, we ordered a gasket for it. The wrong gasket came in. An 8-inch gasket came in, not an 8.8 inch. So we're just putting it back together with RTV and gonna rock on and hope it doesn't leak. Time to fill her up. Here's our master genius plan. Pour the fluid out here in a funnel. Kris is gonna hold that hose in the rear end. Quick oil change and we're gonna go test drive this thing. Start it up. All right, no leaks, we're good. The oil that came out of this thing was pretty black and dirty. And the oil filter is almost impossible to get off, but it only had 1,000 miles on it. We're gonna take it out for a test drive. What do you think the odds are that this works? We haven't even left the driveway. We can barely hear each other over the dumped exhaust, which means we're not gonna be able to hear the rear end. All right. I was right. So loud, the exhaust is so loud. I don't know if the rear end's still messed up. We did it, the boy! Huzzah! Huzzah! It's very difficult to hear in here with the dumped exhaust, but the shrill, loud whining and groaning and grinding the rear end has been doing lately, it isn't doing it anymore. It's all exhaust and just awesomeness. We definitely still have a little bit of rear end whine. Nowhere near what it was. It's not making different sounds as you accelerate and decelerate. I mean, there's a tiny little bit of rear end whine. This is probably the best the rear end's been since we've owned this car, isn't it? It's always made some kind of noise until now. It's you can still hear it working, but when I let out the gas, it's just regular engine noise. As we pull up to the gas pumps, we no longer have that whoop, 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 whoop as we accelerate and slow down. That we don't have that out of rotation, out of balance, whining and knocking sound in the rear end. We pulled up the gas pumps and it was normal. Weird. Take us home, the boy. Our transmission has also stopped whining since we don't have as much vibration coming through the drive shaft from the rear end. This thing was whining and grinding. I was afraid it was going to need rebuild. Now we have less noise in the rear, less vibration. The transmission isn't screaming at us anymore. It's a good thing. Ignore that vibration. That sound is something, one of our body panels is loose in the hatch. it always grinds a little. We fixed it correctly by doing it the wrong way.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's it. We're done. And it's the best it's ever been in this car. It's the best sound. If we had insulation, in fact, I can hear myself echoing in here. Echo, echo, echo. If we had sound insulation, you wouldn't be able to hear the rear end at all. So, see, more proof is slopping it together. Just however you feel like, just throwing the parts together, no measurements, not doing anything correctly, is the correct way to do it. I just packed in shims until it was so tight it would barely turn, and that's what the car wanted all along. All these years, that's what the car wanted. I wasn't giving it what it wanted. I was doing things the correct way. It wanted it done the incorrect way, which is the Greenhill way. Good job, boy.
I know I did.
Ugh.
I did a great job.
So Junior's back in this full time, and because the red convertible's wrecked, and Marshmallow, our Ford Taurus, which you never see on here because it's a Ford Taurus and nobody cares. Marshmallow blew a wheel cylinder. So it's going through an entire bottle of brake fluid like every day, and the brakes no longer work. So I'll have to fix that here soon. And Junior's back in a piece of Stang for a while, and all right, that's it. Thanks for watching another Kris Greenhill's garage disaster done correctly. Bye.